Okay, so let's get this going. I got new microphone, as you can see. After finishing level 5, you should have a strong base. Okay, before we even do anything, I want you to review some things and look at your model whether they have those things. So first of all, the head and the neck, they should create this S curve, right? S, C, and S. SCS. Okay, we want to have this. Also, make sure that the leg, let's change the color, and make sure that the leg has this angle. Bam, bam. Okay. What else? What else? Okay, make it from the top. Make sure that we have that hourglass shape, remember? Hourglass shape. Right here. From the front. Yeah, I need to fix that. Okay, because the legs are a bit too bulky. So let's bring them in a little bit. They seem very, very bulky. So yeah, make sure that the legs are more like... They're more like tapes. They're not protruding that much. So this is perfect actually, what we have right here. Make sure that we have this angle of the gastrocnemius. Make sure that it goes wide here, goes thin here, and then goes wide here. And the reason for it is in the anatomy, right? Because we as humans, we walk on toes, we walk on the tarsals, and then we basically have the shin, right? Let's do it this way. This is our leg. But dinosaurs are a bit different because they have metatarsals and phalanges right here. But the tarsals are right here. Okay, so they're walking on their digits. So if we were only walking on this part. So this is the anatomy behind the legs. Okay, and now let's make this dinosaur in a bit more, how do I put it, in a bit of a comfortable pose. So let's rotate, yes, probably, if you have this weird rotation, like everything is rotating on its own individual origins. Okay, so to fix that, pick median point and it should be good now. Okay, so let's rotate it outwards and bring it in. Okay, now let's not bring it in because the legs are going to touch each other then. So let's just fix that. Okay, this should be going, and you might ask me why is that? The reason behind that is if we look maybe at this reference, right? It kind of goes outwards and then it goes in. And it is basically inspired by birds. And dinosaurs are birds. I mean, birds are dinosaurs. So we are going to kind of copy real world animals. Okay, so now when you look from the front, okay, maybe this is a bit too much, but still, you want to have another this kind of curve, so inverted S from the front. Yeah, this is a bit extreme, but okay, maybe let's fix the rotation to be a bit more inside. Okay. Maybe just a bit more. Okay, that's better. And now we could actually make the hands and arms in a bit more of a comfortable position. Set origin to geometry. And then let's bring them a bit inside. A bit this way. Yes. And we can actually rotate it maybe this way. Yeah. This looks more comfortable than just the stiff position. And make sure that it attaches to the coracoid and to the scapula. Okay, we could maybe bring this in just a bit so it's not... Oh yeah, and also something that I didn't mention before, get yourself a draw brush and just show where the scapula would be showing, and then under the scapula dig in with control. Yeah, with control. Okay, so maybe not this extreme, but basically make sure that it shows through the muscles and skin. All that stuff. Okay. So now, let me get a bit more comfortable here. What we can do also is fix the shape of the jaw and head. So let's hide all the unnecessary stuff. And in order to make sure that the mouth would close properly, we are going to mask out this area. Let's hide this part, the jaw muscles. And let's mask out the jaw, and if it goes a bit up with control, you can clear the mask. Okay, so we get that, and then with Control I, we have basically selected only the lower jaw. So now let's rotate it. And before we do that, set pivot to surface under cursor and click around here, because this is where the jaw would rotate, around this area. Okay, and now we have a bit of a problem. So let's fix it and make, okay, before we rotate, because you can mess up and clear the mask, which is gonna be very not cool, because let's say you rotate the jaw, let's say, in a weird position, and then you clear mask and you're cooked, right? And you cannot even Control Z in that position. So before we do anything, let's just file, save as, and call it channel or whatever, but mouth open, so we can come back to this if we mess up, basically. So set pivot, surface under cursor, somewhere around here, and then on the x-axis, close the mouth, basically. Okay, so it seems like it's a bit too wide. So let's bring it in. Because if you look at the skull, it goes right here, the jaw goes under this part of the skull. Okay, so let's bring it in a bit and fix this part, basically. Okay, we could maybe bring down the upper just a little bit. And then like this. And we should be good. Move this. Move that. And yeah, it looks good. So now if you clear the mask, come back to that file basically. And let's rotate and open the mouth like this. Wait. Okay, maybe let's just invert and fix that. Yeah, that's more like it. Bring this down. And it can be slightly open. Nothing is perfect. But yeah, let's rotate it. Open. If you hold shift, it goes slower, so it can be useful in some situations. Okay, maybe let's level it out. Let's see how does that look like. Rotate. Just a bit up. And then this maybe just a bit down. You know, it's just time for those small tweaks now. And let's open the mouth. Oh, maybe just a bit more. Okay, let's clear the mask and then hide everything. Let's fix those jaw muscles, so they should go a bit in. Alright, so it's looking like a Tyrannosaurid. Definitely. We can hide the back stuff. And you know what? Let's start doing the details. But we can maybe start with the body. But before we start with the body, we should connect everything. So now let's make sure that we apply all of the modifiers. So, and make sure that it's like in a cool position before we apply all of this stuff, because it's gonna be really difficult to tweak it later on. So convert to mesh to apply all the modifiers, and let's get into it. Okay, so we can connect, because the fingers have more poly count, more geometry, and if you connect something of higher geometry to lower geometry, it's gonna catch the poly count of the lower geometry when you remesh. So it's a better practice to lower to higher. So Control J, Control J. Let's connect those claws actually as well. Control J. And then legs to the lower part of the legs. Sculpt mode. Let's turn on symmetry. And then Control R. And let's make the transition look better, basically. Yeah, you might lose some details when smoothing out, but you can always retouch the model if you wish. Okay, better transition in here. Move this out slightly. And let's run the wrinkle with draw brush. Draw sharp. Okay, yeah, look good. Now let's do the hands. So the deltoids to arms first. Make sure you have symmetry on. Okay, if it's a bit messed up, set origin to geometry, and then it should be good. Control R, remesh, and let's move the transition just a bit. Now arms to hands. Set origin to geometry, and now it should be working. If not, all transforms, and it should work. Yeah, Blender sometimes is a bit messy and buggy, and maybe I don't understand everything about it. But yeah, it's still pretty good. Okay, we got hands. And now let's connect the body to the legs, let's say. So Control J. If you have these colors, it's because of the face sets. Face set from visible. And then Control R. Let's wait. Let me turn on the... Oh yeah, so we are at 1 million, which isn't terrible. But before we actually remesh everything, I would like to add this part, which is loose skin, right here. So you might ask, but hey, how do I do that? It's very simple, actually. Shift A, add UV sphere, make it a bit smaller, make sure in the front it's around like the transition between legs and body. Let's mirror it to the other side. And then using grab brush, we are going to... So yeah, also it's going to create this C shape around here, around this connection, because it's going to attach to the body a bit. And then grab it up to here. Make sure it's a bit... Oh yeah, I think I need to apply all the transforms. But if you apply all the transforms, you need to kind of tweak around with the remesh value because it gets messed up. So it's not perfect. Okay, let's remesh this part. I was talking about remesh of the body, not of this wrinkle thing. Okay, and it connects around the knee area. So let's bring it here. You can inflate it a bit if it's a bit too skinny in some parts. And bring it somewhere about this, where we have this muscle in here, around this area. Okay, apply mirror, Control J to the body, and this is what I'm talking about. Okay, let's Control R and let's see what happens. Okay, 1,200,000, not bad. And let's now smooth the parts, body parts. So right here, you want to have a nice transition. Oh, why did it not smooth? Oh, because probably before that I forgot to create good symmetry. Okay, let's smooth this transition. Okay, it's looking decent. So yeah, this got connected into the body. So if we were to create a model for production, we would probably want a different pose because it gets meshed, merged into one around the area of the torso. But we are not with just the sculpt, practice sculpt for you guys to get better. So let's leave it as it is. And let's take care of the face. So we are going to look for the face. We're going to look at this reference by Sumness in Sumness and Prehistoric Planet. And I think I like the Prehistoric Planet a bit more. So yeah. So this is part where you can have fun quite a lot, because I'm going to improvise in this part. You know, looking at the reference, of course, but no one really knew how Dinosaur looked, so I mean, there's some like evidence that they had different scales in different parts, of the body, but let's make sure that you can see the what brushes I'm using. So yeah, so I'm using crease brush right now. Let's bring this out. Let's do the hole for the ear right here. Boom. Let's grab the middle and let's pull out the geometry. Let's make it slimmer. Yeah, but we can improvise. So there would be some keratinous stuff growing around here. So we can add stuff. Let's maybe use draw brush to draw in here. Yeah, but just have fun with it, honestly. That's my... that's my advice. Okay, let's fix maybe the nose area. Okay, let's crease. And then on the sides, let's add volume with clay strips. Okay. Okay, let's maybe dig in here so that the gums are not covered by lips. Okay, and now what I would like to add is this area starting from the lip in here, and then it ends here, and then we are going to add a bunch of these scales, these bigger scales. So I do not want to add much scales actually for this course, but I want to add this because this is like important for the model. Okay, so grab draw sharp and let's turn on Shift S to have more. Oh, I'm running out of words today. To have more control. Yeah, something like this could work. And then here in the middle, it's going to be this. Okay, so I have this area separated. And now let's show where the lips would be. Somewhere, damn it. Somewhere about here. And then same for the lower. So somewhere about here. Don't forget about the middle part. Okay, let's move it slightly, very slightly. Just tapping. Yeah, we got the middle part done. Let's maybe add some cool details around the crest. Let's look at the prehistoric planet one. Okay, so maybe more volume in here. Just because. Oh yeah, you need to smooth a bit more. Make the transition between the forms a bit more visible. Got that. Damn it. We got this. And maybe let's add some details for the crest. I'm just casually drawing with sharp brush, adding some interesting forms. It's really up to you what you do with it. So maybe let's add around, let's look at the eye area and give it some attention. Okay, crease that, crease that. Let's maybe cut it in this interesting pattern. And then let's add some volume to it. I don't know. I'm really just improvising. Bring this in as well. Okay, we can also maybe cut around here. Volume, transitional volume between this bulk and this thin shelf. Oh, it needs, okay, I'm not moving it. Let's fix this transition. Okay. Let's add some details to the jaw muscles, so remesh it. How does it look? So in here, it's just simply draw brush, draw sharp, I mean. And now, actually, one more thing. Yeah, let's dig this in so it doesn't show through the mouth. Okay. And one more thing, the gums. Let's move them around here. Oh, they're not symmetrized. Oh, I don't have symmetry on, right? That makes a lot of sense now, actually. So Control A, all transforms, and now it should be good. Yes, it's good. It's right. It's, just tweaking this around. Okay, let's hide the head. Let's hide all this unnecessary stuff for now. Okay, Control I, all transforms. Symmetry. Let's inflate. And now, okay, let's maybe add some more geometry. And let's create the holes. Even more geometry. Let's create the holes for the teeth. This is not seeming too crazy or interesting either. But that's something you gotta do, basically. Whether you want it or not. I mean, you don't have to. Could probably be just fine without adding details to gums, but it's a good practice. Okay, now we're gonna create with draw sharp the separations between the teeth. You don't need to care about the side because the side is not gonna be visible either. Oh, and with Shift 8 you hide everything except with the object of choice. But we don't want to do that because we need to see the teeth. And here the same stuff, just create false. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling like recording today. So excuse me if I feel a bit odd today, but I don't know. It is what it is. Sometimes we gotta push through this stuff. But yeah, it's fun either way for me. So even though I don't maybe look like I am having too much fun. Oh, but okay, the symmetry is alright. But yeah, let's draw these separations. Okay. And now let's create the rows, kind of rows for the scales. Okay, so I noticed that they end around here also. Oh, we shouldn't go all the way to the lip. I just noticed. We don't actually have to do that. And then later on it just kind of merges. What I would like to do is, if you can, go to the lowest remesh possible. Let's save. Ooh, we have a drink of water. Okay, so now, and let's just create these rows, I guess. Okay, let's get back. So 0.8 strength, small radius, and let's do it. I'll make sure they're real as close to the edges as possible. You could make ovals go in that direction. I don't know. Up to you. But a flow is a welcome addition. That's for sure. Okay, let's fill the blank areas with those smaller scales. And then let's create maybe a few in here, a few in there, outside of this area. And then they would end somewhere around here, so just smaller scale so that the transition is a lot nicer. Okay, this is looking pretty neat. For the lower jaw, you see these wrinkles? Let's draw them. So lesser strength, Shift S, and the wrinkles begin somewhere out here, so let's draw them. Let's just draw them. Okay, and then smooth them out. And then save and remesh. Let's see what happens. Does it get messed up? I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. Okay, it did not get messed up. This is nice. Let's maybe draw a few in here. Just because. And no. We are going to add some volume to them. So grab the clay strips and get to work. Try not to smooth out the edges of the scale. But yeah, this is just a kind of a tester of what sculpting details looks like. I mean, you do like the scales on the body, you don't do everything by hand. That would be absolutely insane. Use a bunch of alphas and VDMs to kind of help you out. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna do a time lapse of it. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, the smaller ones deserve some love too and attention. So yeah. That's pretty boring to watch, but fun to do. So if you wish, you can skip it. If not, well, you can watch me do it. You could also crease these areas. So that the scales are gonna be kind of touching each other. So yeah, it won't hurt to do so. And like crocodiles have. The scales are basically made into these like groups. And now, to make it look better, turn off the symmetry. And we are going to draw some ovals around this area. So the middle. We don't want to make it mirrored because it's gonna look very, 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 very weird. Okay. So we got that. Okay, maybe let's add a few here. And now let's remesh. Okay, and then we can add volume to these as well. And smooth them a little bit. So yeah, ZBrush is supreme compared to Blender when it comes to adding these small details. Because it can handle like a lot more polygons. In Blender, you need basically to retopologize the model to add a fraction of what is possible in ZBrush. And then for the lower lip, and I mean for the lips, let's take a VDM brush that is called lip scale. Damn it. I have messed up so many times in this video. Yeah, that looks a lot. Oh no. Symmetrize. Or symmetrize. I don't know. How do you pronounce it? Oh, I can see a rogue edge on the teeth now. You can fix it up. But not yet. Just not yet. Okay, it's looking neat. And let's do the same for the lower jaw. I can see it's intersecting with the mesh under, but... Oh, that's too bad. Sucks to be that mesh, am I right? Okay, let's smooth it out. Let's maybe flatten the top. And the transition. Okay. I'm not gonna add that much detail. What I can do is grab the face horn and maybe just play around with it to add some cool details. Like the ones right here. Oh, let's do it like this. Oh yeah, just make sure it doesn't mess with your mesh. Because VDMs can be a bit destructive. Okay, now maybe let's add some cool... Oh, turn down the power. 2.5. Let's add some wrinkles around the eyes. I'm not gonna add too much detail because then the rest of the body is gonna feel a bit left out. But yeah, the details for the face are done. And now the episode is gonna be pretty long, but it's worth it. It's worth the watch. Now we're gonna use draw brush to draw the wrinkles. So I'm gonna use this diagram by Ogihara. I don't know how to pronounce their name. But anyways, so first up, let's start with the biggest wrinkles. Make sure you have draw brush and V. And let's draw this big wrinkle that's around the neck. Let's draw the wrinkle that goes from this loose skin to around here. And let's draw some wrinkles that are going from here. All that with drawbrush. We're not going to use any alphas for the wrinkles so that you understand instead of just blindly using alphas, which I know that many people do. And that's what I actually used to do. So I'm not hating definitely. So we got that. Let's draw the wrinkle around here. That's kind of transitional between the neck and the torso. And here we have a pressure point, kind of. That's what I like to call it. Right here. So this is where a lot of wrinkles are going to originate from. But let's just draw like this. Around this area, let's connect them. Okay. Now around the neck, I said this is one of the points of pressure, but there's also going to be a lot of wrinkles around this, and you might ask me why. Why are we adding in this place? We're adding in this place because there is movement. And where there's movement over time, you're going to have wrinkles. So this dinosaur definitely moved its head to the sides, up and down, and if you do it often enough, you're going to have wrinkles. So yeah, let's just draw these. And then just create something in between for a nice transition. Okay, you can add few these horizontal ones. Okay, not bad, not bad. We got quite a few around here, yes. We're going to have quite a bit of around this area. Smooth out the edges of the wrinkles so that they just don't feel this awkward. Now we have wrinkles, a lot of wrinkles around here because there's movement of the leg, like going here and here. So let's draw these wrinkles. Still using the draw brush. And also sometimes I like to add these wrinkles. They're kind of transitional as well. But there definitely would be a bit of movement in the torso. So it's moving out the edges, like the end points. Yeah, we could also bring this wrinkle a bit down because it's going to droop a bit. And yeah, I'm adding all of these wrinkles on top of a good looking base because compared to this, you are made a shit base of the model. So why would you want to put flowers on the shit? It's still going to be shit. But if you made something beautiful, like a nice smelling cake, you can add some flower petals, petals. Yes, petals. It's going to make it look way nicer, but yeah. Add some here underneath. Kind of mimicking the way that this big wrinkle around here is. So they're just going to mimic it. Kind of transition. Oh yeah, and then the big wrinkle, it's going to go around here. Around the arms. And then a bit in here as well. And smooth the ends of those wrinkles. very slightly because it's easy to get rid of these, so do not press really hard on them. Okay, let's add a wrinkle in here. Because you're going to have a lot of movement, so let's draw this around here. And then it's going to go out to the sides, and it creates this knee kind of place. And then it connects around here once again. Okay, we got this. We could also draw some wrinkles around here, kind of transitional from this area under the tail. And then we can have some in here to be transitional. Yeah, so the wrinkles are a godsend when it comes to realism. Let's just... Okay, so from the front, there's also going to be some movement around here, so let's... It's going to be bottom heavy. So they're going to be like this, kind of... Some of them are going to be cutting each other. And then in here, something similar to the knee. So they're going to have these wrinkles, and they're going to even out. And then they create this wrinkly thing. Okay, and let's not forget about the wrinkles on the feet. Let me show you reference for it. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, so here we have some stuff. Let's look at the Ceratosaurus because it would have some wrinkles. Not too many, but they're going to be present around this area. Okay. And then a wrinkle around the ilium. And yeah, make sure that they're not obvious. They do not have like this obvious connection because you do not want to cut like here, 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 and here. No, this is going to mess up the model. So kind of create even amounts of wrinkles around areas. That's what I'm still kind of figuring out to this day. How to do it properly, but yeah, I think I have improved a bit. Okay, let's look at the Ogihara's diagram. A little bit around there, around here. Some of these like random ones. I mean, kind of random, they're not really random. And smooth around the ends of the wrinkles. Okay, so, oh yeah. Also wrinkle around here, similar to ones on the knee. They're going to create that circular wrinkle. So don't worry if your hand is a bit shaky. It's actually a pretty good thing when it comes to adding wrinkles. And you have some around the wrist because there's going to be movement in the wrist. Okay. So these are kind of cutting, but it's okay. So we are done with the blockout. And since we are done with the blockout, we are going to use few brushes now. These brushes being clay strips to add mass, and crease brush, and then once again sometimes draw brush. Okay, so for the top of here, in between these two wrinkles, I'm going to add some mass. We're kind of adding mass in between these wrinkles. It's okay if you mess up the whole flow a bit. It's supposed to be random, and you're going to have some intersections, of course, that's a normal thing. But try to have a flow still kind of going around here a bit, but not too much. Mostly want to add mass to these top ones. And then just slightly tapping to even it out. And then I'm going to use crease brush to crease these wrinkles. So around the place where you see it's kind of dented. You want to follow these dents in the mesh. So yeah, don't go too extreme. Don't mess up the silhouette too much. But you can have fun with it. This is really cool part. Once you have done the base properly. It's just really fun. And then with control, we can draw the big wrinkle around here. Maybe with control, show this. With control, maybe show this wrinkle and then crease in around it so it kind of adds weight to these wrinkles. When you crease in and crease out, I guess. Some of these wrinkles. So yeah. Okay, I don't like how it looks. Let's look at this Despleto by Raul. Yeah, let's maybe add one more wrinkle around here. Add volume with clay strips. And smooth. Crease. Crease out. Add volume. But yeah, it's kind of like everyone is going to create a bit different wrinkles. And that's okay. Okay, make sure that these are actually connecting. Not all of these need to have volume. Some wrinkles can be just these single random ones. Like right here. So yeah, just play with it. Have fun. Now we're getting to this part. So add volume in between. Tap it. And crease. And smooth from the top. And maybe, just maybe, let's kind of alter its shape a bit. Maybe let's inflate these slightly, or not, or maybe just a little bit less. Make them droop here. And let's add volume to these kind of in between. Yeah, let's add volume in between. Slightly tapping. And then let's crease. Crease out this big one. And yeah, that's the whole workflow. I mean, I don't have much to comment here. But yeah. Let's crease these in the bottom and let's see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty nice. We can smooth out the top part and leave the bottom a bit more creased. And we can add some volume on the top maybe. and smooth it out. Yeah, that's looking interesting. Let's make this droop down a bit with grab brush, crease. Maybe sometimes you don't need to even add volume and the wrinkles are going to look good. It's okay to experiment around, have fun with it. And yeah. Let's maybe crease out a few. Yeah. I don't know, you could probably have more fun with it, but for the sake of the course and this episode not being extremely long, I might do some stuff off camera, but probably not. Then next up, which is gonna be the last episode, we're gonna do something really cool that no one really shows, which is painting the model. So yeah, no one really on YouTube shows the capabilities that the Blender can basically create. So I'm excited for that. Right, see ya, bye.